Sell high before your fantasy trade deadline. Those might be coming up here, Adam, in the next few weeks. Something to think about.
Yeah, that has to be very close for many leagues. We're entering week 10
Yeah.
and 14 weeks of the regular season. So it's got to be a week or two away in most
Yes.
leagues.
So we're gonna get you ready for that and just kind of give you some ideas, especially if you're, if you're sitting nice in your leagues and you might have some of these guys. Again, I said that these are actually bigger names. And again, Ian's weekly manifesto is live at fantasylife.com. He put a name in here that I wanted to bring up, and then I sprinkled in a few others. But we had this conversation a few days ago. So what do you think about selling high before your trade deadline in your fantasy football leagues? Kareem Hunt. We have mentioned Kareem Hunt here before, and we've said that yes, he could be, someone that we say is the waiver wire pickup of the season. He's been great. Literally came off his couch and has been scoring you a good amount of fantasy points since going to the Chiefs. But when we look at, like, we've already talked about the efficiency too, right? 3.7 yards per carry, nothing really explosive, but they're just giving him all of these carries. And the other part of this that I wanted to bring up with selling high on Kareem Hunt is the potential that Isaiah Pacheco returns. I know Andy Reid mentioned it last week. Lisa Salters reported on it as well. So there are two things that come together there where you say, okay, can they continue giving him this workload? And what is it going to look like if Isaiah Pacheco comes back? Selling high on Kareem Hunt. What do you think?
It's a tough situation. I think it really depends on where you are with your team because you could say, well, Pacheco could be back. We don't even know that at this point. They're saying late November. So you still have potentially 3 weeks more of Kareem Hunt, and all he does is produce. Yes, it's not efficient, but they are getting him the goal line carries. This is an offense that's starting to look better, and he's going to get the opportunity to finish off drives. Even the touchdown that Mahomes threw, I'm trying to remember who he threw it to, but the first two plays were runs to Hunt, and he couldn't
Mhm.
get in the end zone, and then it was a touchdown. I don't know if it was Hopkins' second touchdown. It was a short touchdown, but
Can't
either way,
remember.
he's getting plenty of opportunities near the goal line. So, like, if you're 4-5, 5-4, I wouldn't because you need him the next few weeks. Now, if you're doing great and you're thinking more about the playoffs and you're concerned that Pacheco will be back and Hunt's volume goes down, then sure. From that perspective, that's meaning if you're a uh, 7-2
Seven and
team,
two. Yeah.
yeah, something like that. And it also depends what you can get for him as well. So, but I think it's sometimes it's definitive where we go, yeah, he's definitely so high. I don't see. I think it depends on where you are with your team. If you
Yeah.
need the wins the next few weeks, you just keep them because Pacheco's not going to be back in the next few weeks, and the report is late November. We still don't even know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I think it's one where I like to stir the pot a little bit with it because we've mentioned the efficiency hasn't been there. The He hasn't been super explosive, but again, when you're getting that bell cow work, it's just something that you don't want to necessarily go away from. I am with you in line that if you are 7-2, if you're sitting nice at 8-1 and you have obvious needs somewhere else, then maybe you can utilize that and you have Kareem Hunt and you say, okay, I'm gonna sell high on him and I'm gonna go Fantasy Calc is one that we've talked about before, but they do, the trades and stuff, and they say who's been traded for what recently. Same with Yahoo. But there's three here that were interesting: Kareem Hunt for Zay Flowers, Kareem Hunt for Kyron Williams, and then Kareem Hunt for George Kittle. Those were all three where maybe you get again. It's really though you need to look at your roster and see where you might have a weakness. And I know tight end is probably one where I said, yeah, I could see some people making that move because tight end has been a wasteland this season. And if you can sell high on him for someone that could continue giving you fantasy points in that department, that could be good.
Yeah, these trades, like it's easy to analyze a trade in isolation, but it
Yeah.
really doesn't help. Like if someone has an awful tight end and they're stacked at running back, maybe they got Kareem Hunt off the waiver wire, but they drafted Derrick Henry and Joe Mixon and
That'd be nice.
J.K. Dobbins, right? Like, all right, they can give up Kareem Hunt and they really need a tight end. A lot of people are like, oh, I wouldn't do that trade. So that's why these trades, I've always said this. You can actually lose a trade on paper, but improve your team,
Mhm.
right? Because people will look at a trade one-on-one and be like, that's a terrible trade. But if that piece you're acquiring makes your team better, then it doesn't matter whether 95% of the people say you lost a trade. You made your team better.